call I'm taking in the evening, expect some background noise because my children are home at this moment. So the plan for today's session is just to show you resources that you can access from IBM as university students. All of you being students at registered universities have free access to a number of resources that I will share with you during this particular call. And I'll also just guide you on how to go about doing that. And then in terms of making it fun and interesting, I also challenge you. I will show you an interesting project, robotics project for those who might be interested, that you could challenge yourselves and actually develop this robot and then subsequently use some of the technology I'll share with you to build some functionality on this particular system. So this is the plan for the session today. I look forward to an engaging, interactive session. So please feel free to interject or to stop me at any point if you have a question or would like clarification on an item, and I'll be happy to respond to that. So a little bit about IBM, just a bit of background, because sometimes people assume that when I say IBM, everyone is familiar with that. IBM is a technology company that this year in June will actually be celebrating 110 years of existence. And as a company, throughout this long history, we have been at the forefront of technology innovation. So back in 2011, we did a video, a centennial video, where we captured some of the significant milestones during the history of the company that we were involved in. And I urge you to check that out. It's available on the internet. Just search for IBM Centennial video, and you'll see a lot of the big milestones in technology development. IBM was actually playing an integral part in them. The other reason why I show you this picture on the screen is that you can see representation of different sort of industries or sectors of the economy. So IBM as a company has got technology plays in all of these different industries. So if you think about aviation, manufacturing, financial services, film industry, you name it, healthcare, oil and gas, any industry you can think of, IBM has a technology play that supports any one of those different industries. Does someone have a question? IBM has a technology play in any one of those industries. So just to give you a sense of the breadth of capability of the company. At the bottom here, you have a picture of two gentlemen, and in between them, there is a photo of a system. That is Watson. Watson is a name that in IBM we give to the artificial intelligence engine. So back in 2012, Watson was showcased in a game show in the US called Jeopardy. Now in this game show, you have a host who challenges the contestants with general knowledge questions, and the one that answers or responds that question correctly first, gets the points with the money that is indicated at the bottom of the controls. Now, as you can see here, Watson was leading by a big margin, and this was way back in 2012. Over the years, we've continued to improve the technology, and now we're actually using that technology to support and assist different professionals in what they do. So we've continued improving, build the capabilities of Watson, and it's being used heavily to support different industries. So now IBM as a company is focused on what we call hybrid cloud and artificial intelligence. That is really the thrust of the company. I thought that background was just useful for you to get a sense of IBM, so just to put everything into context. So what makes IBM unique? So we bring in this history of innovation. So I mentioned that over the 110-year history of the company, we have been involved. We've been at the forefront of innovation, technology innovation, and we have this breadth of industry capability, like I shared with you, the vast number of industries that the company supports. And another key, maybe the most important element, is our commitment to trust and security. So IBM is deeply committed to securing the data and any resources that we manage on behalf of our clients. And this is really this trust is really what distinguishes IBM within this technology space. So that is IBM, just to give you a sense of who we're going to be engaging and who we're working with and who you're talking to. And I believe this brings a unique perspective to the company. The department are working with the Global University Programs is part of IBM Research. So IBM Research is, you can think of it as the engine of research and innovation within IBM. So over this 110-year history of technology innovation, that has really been led by IBM Research. And actually, last year we were recognized for the 28th year in a row in terms of patent leadership within the technology community. So this is really, the thrust of the innovation that happens within IBM. And the reason why we do this is really to develop technologies that transform industries and society. And by the way, because we're talking to an audience that is primarily Kenyan, we are privileged in this region to host one of the research labs of IBM Research. So IBM Research is really a network of research centers across the world, and we have one lab in Africa, and with 2 sites, so one in Nairobi at Catholic University, and another one in Johannesburg at Wits University. So that is really IBM Research. So to come back to the focus of what we're going to be looking at today, so we have this program called the Global University Programs, through which we reach out to the academic community. So this is students and faculty. And the reason why we do this is really to strengthen that relationship between academia and industry. I'm sure some of you may have heard, the big criticism that, what is taught in university is not what is practiced in the industry. When people come out of the university system, when they get in the industry, they are not prepared, and so on and so forth. So what we are doing is actively working with our academic partners like yourselves, and also with the faculty members, to bring these technologies that we sell commercially to all those organizations that I showed you before, all the different industries, and bring them to the campus, to the university, so that you are able to experience, to use, to build expertise on those technologies, even while you are taking your studies as a student, right? So when you graduate from your academic program, whether you have a degree, in addition to that, you also have industry-ready skills so that you can be productive from day one, okay? So for this call, I will just talk to you about the academic initiative program. I will mention a few others, but I will want to show you the academic initiative, and then through the academic initiative, point you to resources that even all of you, as you're going through your education in the university, and I believe being technology enthusiasts, by being members of IEEE, you could actually stretch yourselves to develop different solutions, to try out different things, and really look at solving some of the problems that we have in society using technology. So we have one program called Academic Initiative. I'll show you that in a moment. We have another training program called Skills Academy. We have a program where we have IBM subject matter experts who can talk to university students. We call that the Academic Ambassadors Program. And academic is a way in which IBM supports research in the university through programs like PhD fellowships and research grants for faculty members. Okay. Any questions up to this point? And feel free to just unmute yourself and voice your question. If you feel shy, you can drop that in the chat, and then I believe Steve or Chris could actually voice that out at different parts of the presentation. One of the challenges with this when I'm on presentation mode is that I'm not able to see the chat, and also sometimes I might be speaking to myself. So any questions up to that point, anyone? Chris, Steve, are you still hearing me?
Yes, you are audible from my side.
Perfect. Okay, so I suppose we're still warming up, so let's keep on going. So the academic initiative is a website through which you can get access to tons of resources from IBM. And by resources here, I refer to access to IBM Cloud that you can use for innovation. So cloud is simply a remote computing environment. So imagine you've got all this supercomputing capability that is available remotely, and you can access that through your web browser and do different things, whether it's programming, developing different solutions, and so on. And I will show you that. So through this program academic initiative, all of you have access to this cloud environment. So we give you free cloud account and actually give you extra, we give you a code where you can get extra services to develop solutions. You also have the opportunity to download software. So IBM makes available to the academic community almost the full catalog of IBM software. And this is a really large pool. I mean, you're talking about over 1,200 titles of different types of software. And I will show you, you'll be shocked, actually almost intimidated by the amount of software there. You can really get lost looking for that. And also we give you some learning material on new and emerging technologies. So if you hear of things like data science and you'd like to begin figuring out what's data science and how can you apply it, if you hear of technologies like IoT, blockchain, artificial intelligence, cloud, and so on, through this academic initiative, you can get startup training for you to learn more about those different technologies. To access the academic initiative is very simple. You just go to this website, ibm.com/academic. When you open that in a browser, it brings you to a page similar to what you see on the screen. And you go through a simple registration process, which I'll walk you through in about 5 minutes. The only thing I'll mention here is that you must use your student ID. So if you're a student at University of Nairobi, you use your University of Nairobi email address. If you're a student at Strathmore, use your Strathmore email address. If you're a student at Moi University, use your email address at Moi. That is the only way that we know that you're part of that student community. If you're a faculty member, you do the same, okay? Because remember, here we're giving you access to the same technologies that we sell commercially at a good amount of money that we're giving to you at no charge because of this engagement or this collaboration with academia.
Hello, John.
Yes.
I see there is a question on the chat box from Bernard Opio. He was asking if someone without the first degree in computer related or IT course can be able to take a course through IBM.
Yes, by all means. In fact, was it Opio? Was the name Opio?
Yeah, Bernard Opio.
Bernard, yeah, I mean, by all means. In fact, just to tell you a little bit about my experience, I mean, I did not have a first degree in IT. My first degree was in chemistry and zoology, and some of the best programmers, and this I'm speaking, over the years interacting with different developers, some of the best programmers I've come across did not have a computer science degree. I mean, there's one guy I met from Egypt who did pharmacy, and I can tell you, I mean, this guy was really top in his game. So what from my perspective, as long as you have the interest and the passion, you can learn a lot of these things. Yes, I mean, those who have had a computer science degree may have gone through, were taught that in class, and maybe you can say may have had a head start. But I've seen a lot of people who have quickly caught up just by learning, and I'll show you resources that you will see here that you can actually learn. Okay. I hope that addresses your question or your concern, Bernard.
Yeah, okay. Personally, I have a question, John. So
yeah,
I wanted to know, those without student emails cannot be able to access this platform.
Yeah, so now this is you raise an important point. So unfortunately, because we have no way of tracking whether you're a student or not, I mean, the email address is the only way, because if you're a student at that university, you become registered and you access your email address. To my understanding, most universities actually give their students email accounts, Actually, especially during this time of the pandemic, many students many times do not like to use their email addresses, but because of this time when we have been working remotely, a lot of students have been giving access to different services through their institutional email. That's the only way they know that you're a member of that community, right? So at the moment, unfortunately, we cannot have any other way of accessing, or there's no workaround to access the academic initiative. You must use your university email ID. Maybe we could discuss after this session. Maybe tell me which university you are in. Is it that you don't have it, or you've just never bothered to look for it? Because I believe most institutions give their students email addresses. Yeah?
Yes.
By the way, a student identity is very important. You'll realize that a lot of services are available to you as a student. The moment you graduate, you lose that identity, and you realize a lot of things are no longer available to you free of charge. So I would advise you, on a personal note, really utilize that identity now. Learn as much as you can, because as a student, you go into very many things at a reduced cost or almost free. I believe even your registration to IEEE as a student is at a subsidized rate, isn't it?
Yeah, it's subsidized.
Correct. Any other question? Okay, so if there's no other question, then let me proceed. So this is the academic initiative. I will give you a walk through this particular platform in more detail after this. The others, I'll make a mention of them here. So we have another program called Skills Academy. This is a certification training program. We are working together with faculty in your universities to provide learning on this training program, and then you can take training on that. Again, very useful learning, because these are the new and emerging technologies, and really this is what has been keeping the world moving during this time of the pandemic. All of these new technologies, we've seen application of technology in almost every sphere of anything that has been working. A lot of us have been working remotely. You have been using cloud computing, whether you know it or not. That's what has been enabling even us to have this kind of Zoom meetings or WebEx meetings, right? And a lot of the other technology that you see on the screen there. So I would advise you, if you can find this learning being offered at your university, take the training. If not, through academic initiative, as I will show you, you can take some initial learning on all of these topics. Okay. We have a program called the Academic Ambassador Program, where we have subject matter experts come in by way of guest lectures online, like the way we're doing now, and deliver a talk on a particular topic to students on a particular topic. So as the student branch network in Kenya, if you'd like to organize a talk like this, let me know, and we can organize a webinar with some of the subject matter experts in a topic or an area that might be of interest to most of you or to all of you. Then we have the awards program, like I said, to support research. So here faculty members apply for grants from IBM if they're looking to do some very interesting or innovative research work. IBM will support that either in cash or in kind. We also do a call for PhD fellowships. Okay, so and a lot of these are usually broadcasted to your university. So be on the lookout for these opportunities when they arrive, and apply for them. They're always very good and can help you in your career. Okay, so I want to do a bit of a deeper dive into the academic initiative, like I said, to show you access to some resource that might be interesting to you. As engineering students, my intention is to show you to some resources for maths-based courses, for also project that could be of interest if you're looking to do some innovation, and also to give you access to some computing resource that you can leverage on if you're going to be developing solutions. Okay, so that is, as you will see, there's a lot of material behind the academic initiative, but I will sort of try to point you to this one. But once you have an understanding of how the content is organized and how you can access it, I'm sure all of you will be capable of going through and discovering a lot on your own. Okay. So like I said, the academic initiative is really a self-service portal. You register on the website I showed you, ibm.com/academic, using your university email ID. And once you're inside it, you'll find lots and lots of resources that's organized around those sort of strategic areas that I mentioned: cloud, cybersecurity, AI, blockchain, and so on. And there you can access cloud-based resources, you can access software, you can access learning material, and all of this is available at no charge to all of you as current university students. So how do we go about accessing the academic initiative? So fairly quickly, step one, and I will go through this and maybe give you, those who are on a computer, give you 5 minutes to just register on the academic initiative, and then we can go and look at it live. So step one is open the website. So ibm.com/academic. It opens up a page similar to the one you see on your screen. Click on the button that says register now. When you click on that button, it opens a window similar to this here. It asks you to enter your academic institution email address. So here's where you enter your email address, username at university domain. So if you're at University of Nairobi, it would be your username at uonbi.ac.ke. If you're at Strathmore, username at strathmore.edu. If you're at Moi, username at moi.ac.ke, and so on and so forth. So it must be email at the domain name of a registered university. Okay. So to the question that I think Chris had asked earlier, if I use my Gmail account, will it work here? Sorry, no, it will not work. If I use a Hotmail or any other company email, no, unfortunately, it will not work. So this is a offering that we give, and that's the only way. I mean, you'll understand, because, like I said, we're giving you access to full software that we sell commercially, and this is only made available to you because you are members of the academic community. If that completes successfully, you get a window like this here. So as a student, you'd select student, current degree. You indicate if you have a previous degree. So if you're taking an undergraduate degree right now, so you don't have a previous degree, you'd set the current degree as none. If you are in the university, that means you're studying for a degree. You indicate what degree you're studying for, whether it's a BSc, MBA, PhD, MD, it doesn't matter. Pick the degree that you're studying for. And then the expected date of graduation. Okay, here you do not have to be super accurate, but give an indication of, do you expect to graduate next year or in 3-4 years' time, whatever it is. And then the department that you're in, School of Engineering, Faculty of Science, different institutions have got different names for the department, but pick one that comes closest to what's called in your university. Okay. In the enrollment, below there you see an option that says enrollment, the IBM badging program. So the IBM badging program is a way in which you can show, you can give recognition to skill that you have gained, and this is by way of what we call digital badges or digital certificates. And by the way, this is a trend now. A lot of companies, because everything is going online, they're no longer giving the certificates or a PDF. They give you a digital badge. And the beauty about the digital badge is that you can insert that into your email, your LinkedIn profile, and someone who is looking to confirm that you actually have a digital badge can verify that, and it will come back. If you're the one who did the test, passed, and got the digital badge, it will be verified not by IBM, but also by another authority, certification authority. And if you get a badge from another company, maybe you're taking training from a platform offered by another company, they give you a digital badge as well. So you can have a collection of digital badges and a digital portfolio of your certification. And this can be very useful later when you graduate and you're looking for opportunity, and people can see if you're looking to develop skills around a particular technology area, you've got skills in IBM, you've got skills in other platforms, etc. And this can be very good for you. And the good thing about the digital badge is that it's verifiable. If you're a faculty member, so you choose faculty, and here you indicate your current degree and the department that you belong to, so a bit shorter. And similarly, I'd advise you to also select the digital badge. The next step is to confirm the terms of service for the academic initiative and the privacy consent. So you'll see that there are two check boxes here. If you try and click those, they'll be disabled. Reason being is that they want you first to look at the terms of service. You click on that, it'll open up a window, scroll through that, accept the terms of service, and then this will be available for you to check. And the privacy consent, similarly, click on the text in bold, it'll open up a window, read that and accept that, and it'll be enabled. I mean, it's a lot of legalese, but basically what the terms of service are is that you accept to use the software, the resource that you find in academic initiative for your academic purposes. So you're not going to open up a shop and start selling IBM software, okay? And the privacy consent means that IBM will not use your information for any other purposes outside the academic initiative, okay? So, just, and this is a requirement that we all have to adhere to. Once you click on that, you click on register. It's going to go through, check your email address. If you have registered your email address for another IBM service, it will let you know, and it will just confirm and connect you to the academic initiative, meaning that you're done. It might ask you to log in. That means you put in your password. If this is the first time that email address, your university email address, is being associated with IBM, it's going to ask you to make that email address an IBM ID, meaning that you can log on to other IBM services using that account. So it'll ask you for one more step. You'll see your email will be filled inside there. It'll ask you for your name, your first name and last name, and then it'll ask you to make your own password that you will use to access IBM systems. So think of your own password that meets these requirements here. And once you do that, the country will pick automatically from where you're connecting from, and then it will click on next. When you click on next, it will send an email to that email address here to confirm if it is you. You'll get a code there, then bring it back, and you complete the registration process. So fairly simple, but you need to do it once. The moment you finish that, in future, all you'll do is just log in to your academic initiative, okay? So I would like us to, if you are online, just to log on, if you're on your computer, just to go to the website, ibm.com/academic, and register if you've not registered before. If you have registered, then just log in, and then we can go through what is behind academic initiative, so we can pick and see what can be of interest to you. In case you have any problem, I'm here to respond. Just pause for a moment for you to do that. I'll look at the chat in case there's any concern, or if you wish to voice any questions, please feel free to raise them. Yes, Bernard, the question is, if you have graduated, will you be able to access the program? So as long as you have access to your university email address, okay? I know some institutions give email addresses to their alumni. So you're still associated to that university, and you're benefiting because you're part of that, because you're an alumnus of that university. But if you are unable to access your university email address, then you no longer have access to the academic initiative. So, like I said, really utilize this moment you have it as much as possible. Thank you, Dorothy. Good to hear from you and connect from you. All right, excellent. So if you have any other questions, or if you're having difficulties, just raise the question. I'll be happy to respond.
Yeah, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know the whole inclusivity of the program. I know the tagline is Global University Programs. There are organizations that I belong to an organization, it's a nonprofit that promotes digital inclusion for youth in Kenya. And part of their MO is partnering with companies, big players like IBM and the others to help in offering certifications for the same. I don't know if the IBM Academic Initiative can have a provision to such a partnership, or it's restricted to universities and educational institutions. Could you advise on that?
Yeah, so a good question. So the academic initiative is restricted to academic institutions, to universities, right? So degree granting academic institutions. So even if I've had the same request from TVET institutions, can they? So this program is restricted towards academic institutions. However, there are other offerings, and feel free to connect with me after the session. I can point you to other resources that IBM makes available for skills development for other, let's say, other groups. So we've got a number of other training offering that's available to those groups as well. Again, also made available at no charge. So drop me a note after this or in the chat when we finish the session. I'll be happy to just point you to those resources. Okay. I hope we're still finishing our registration so that we can all go into the academic initiative. I'd like to all of you access different technologies. So let me see the chat now if there's any question. So Clinton, you say that when you're doing the registration, did you get the right link? Please just go to the website ibm.com/academic. Okay, so I'll just put in the chat. So can someone type it in the chat? I'm not able to type it for some reason. Okay, I can do it now. Okay, so you need to go to that website for you to register. Okay. And then the question that you ask, it does not appear on that listing. I showed you the listing and it's on the screen now for students. Okay. Can I take IBM courses if I'm green in technology? Yes, by all means. Jerry, maybe you may have missed comments before. You can register on the platform and then you will see there's a lot of introductory material, even if you are, let's say, not an IT student, but there's a lot of learning that you can actually begin your journey. What did you say about current degree and short degree? So Evelyn, your current degree, if you're an undergraduate student, so maybe you do not have a previous degree, so you'd set that as none. If you're a PhD or master student, so you have a previous degree, so you have a BA or BSc or MD, or so if you have a degree now and you're working to a postgrad, so the current degrees are what you're currently holding, and short degrees are what you're working towards. Bernard. Okay, so Bernard, yes, there are other platforms. Like I said, after this, just drop me a note and I'll point you to other resources. Okay, so I think we have, most of us have registered. So just to make sure we don't leave anyone behind, by show of hands, just raise your hand if you've successfully registered. You just raise your hand and I can see, so we have a good quorum that is able to use the academic initiative. Okay. Okay. More hands. Still very low. I would like to at least reach half of the people that are on the call who have registered for academic initiative. If you're having a challenge, just let me know and we can try and address it now. Okay. Okay, keep going. I see people acknowledging. Okay. Okay, so as you continue to register, let me show you what things you'll find behind Academic Initiative before we all go live. So there's a lot of resources that is behind Academic Initiative. I will just give you a sense of what is behind there so that as you begin looking for different things, you know what to expect. So we've organized the material in terms of sort of these strategic title areas. So we have resources for data science. So if you're looking to know or to find tools to help you to manipulate data, if you're developing, want to study some trends or to do some analytics work, then data science is the place that you need to go in. And under data science, what do you find there? So under resources, we have got what we call a data asset exchange. Sometimes you might be doing this learning and you're looking for data sets that you can play around with. So these are, let's say like, think of it like a large spreadsheet. If you want to do some learning, you need to have some data to play around with, right? So in the data asset exchange, you can find some open data sets that you can then use for your learning and for your data manipulation. Under software, there is a lot of software that's available there for someone doing data science. I'll point you to a few of them, but then again, as you'll see when we go to the website, there'll be lots more. One is the Watson Studio Desktop. So if you're doing some modeling, some machine learning modeling, for example, you can use the Watson Studio Desktop to actually write your code and then to execute it. And with the Watson Studio Desktop, this is a software you can download. Think of it like an IDE, Integrated Development Environment, that you can use on your local machine, write the code, and then when you're ready, you can push it up to your cloud account and then run that code there. We have another tool called iLog Simplex Optimization Studio. So if you're someone who's doing some optimization work or some linear programming models, this would be an excellent tool for you to use for that kind of work. And again, you can download this software straight from the Academic Initiative and use it for whatever optimization work that you're doing. There's some course material here. If there's a question that came in, if you're agreeing on that technology, how can I benefit? So here you have some courseware, some course learning material that can help you kickstart your learning on this topic. So if you want to build your skills on data science, there's some great resources that I'll point you here. So there's a curriculum called Open DS for All, Open Data Science for All. This is really full course curriculum on data science, and it's made available on an open source arrangement, so you can go in there, learn at your own pace. It's not directed towards IT students. I can tell you, I've had calls with students who are doing biology, who are looking to pick some element in data science and they found this resource an amazing tool to learn from. So I'll point you to that and you can click on that and you then go about doing that. If you want to see how to write your machine learning code on Watson Studio, again, there's a guide that's available here. For someone who wants a foundational, remember we talked about badges before? So if you want to start taking some learning and get a digital badge for that, so you can take this foundational course on data science, complete this learning, I believe for data science about 5 hours long. And then when you complete the test and you pass it, you get a digital badge, okay, which already can start showing your foundational skills in data science. If you want to learn Python, which is a great language for data science, there's a resource there you can choose to learn data science. So you find a lot of this kind of resource, and by the way, I'm just giving you a snapshot. There's a lot more, as we'll see shortly. If you are big on security, cybersecurity, again, there's a lot of resources there. There's resources for security, there's course material, there's all the latest and the best tools for security professionals, and there's also some certification course that you can get started with on for security. If you're looking for cloud, if you want to learn cloud, there's a lot of tools available there as well. If you're looking for artificial intelligence resources, excuse me, there's a lot of material available under the Watson resources. Remember, Watson is IBM's name for the AI engine. So there's a lot of resources there that you can leverage on. If you're looking to build applications that are utilizing Watson, you can do that. For the practical part of our, I'll point you to, we'll see how to make a TJ bot if you're interested in robotics, and I will challenge you to consider this. You'll see how you can utilize some resources to make a robot and then connect it to the cloud and begin doing some interesting things with it. Quantum computing, if you're interested in quantum computing, so IBM has the first and possibly the only functional quantum system. So if you'd like to begin your journey in quantum computing, we have some resources there for you to learn quantum, and also how to, if you want to try out your skills to write code on a quantum system, you can also do that by requesting for resources from the quantum computing section. Excuse me. We have, if you'd like to access a power system, again, in the power section, power is really a different architecture for some of the computing. So we've got some services that run on power that you can access remotely, again, through the academic initiative. If you've heard of a mainframe technology, again, you can also access the mainframe. And if you'd like to learn how to write code for mainframe, you can also do that from the mainframe EMZ section. We have got some tools if you're doing some engineering work, if you want to download some solutions and see how you can automate and also manage the life cycle of some engineering projects. We've got tools that will also allow you to do that. So as you can see, there's really tons and tons of stuff behind it. I'm just scrolling through this quickly because I want to show you live. If you've heard of blockchain, what is blockchain? Can I develop some blockchain solutions? Can I learn about it? Again, there's tons of information around there. And then there's more resources that I'll just mention here, which you can get access through the academic initiative. Okay, so let's just go in, and I want to practically walk you through and maybe enable you to get access to some of these computing resources. This, I just want to show you a snapshot because a number of you do projects as part of your courses. Look at this screen here. If you are looking to do an IT project or as part of your engineering studies, you might require to do a project. Feel free to go into academic initiative and pick tools that can support your solution development. If you're looking for database environments, you can download these tools here, but also on cloud, you'll see a lot of other database environments that you can use for your solution. Okay. Any questions up to this point here before we switch to the browser mode? Just checking again if all of you have been able to register on the academic initiative. Maybe I should ask the question the other way around. How many have not or are having challenges in doing so we can address that? Eric, Joseph, Abe, if I understand you correctly, you are not able to access the academic initiative? Yes or no? Hello? Are you able to access it?
Hello, John.
Yes.
So personally, I was not able to access. So I was stuck where I was there's this page, academic success management. I was supposed to fill the email, the name, and the password, but the section to fill my email is kind of locked. Was I supposed to receive confirmation through my email, or are they to send some pin?
Yes, yes. So check for your checking your email. An email has been sent to your email address with a code. Copy and paste that. Check, it may have gone to the junk mail or something like that, in case you didn't see.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
The others, Eric and Abby?
Yeah, I was able to create the account, but I didn't actually access the academic initiative.
Which website did you go to? I'll put a link on the chat. Just use this website.
Cloud.ibm.com.
That's yeah. We'll go to IBM Cloud. That's eventually, but for academic initiative is a different website. So I just put on the chat. Since you already have an IBM ID, you can just log on to academic initiative. So register. Click on that link. Go to register, and then just complete the process. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Anyone else who's having difficulty or challenge?
Yes, Mr. John. I'm personally not receiving the code from my email. Yeah, I'm not getting the call from yeah, I registered, but I'm not receiving the code.
You used your university email address?
Yeah.
And you're not receiving the email?
Yeah, the email containing the code is not coming. I've tried to resend several times.
Check, maybe it's going to the junk mail, or just check, maybe it's in another folder that you're not seeing, but it comes there.
Let me confirm.
Okay. Okay, so I believe most of us have been able to register. So I just want to open up some resources so we can be able to see what is behind there. We close some tabs. Okay, so I've switched to my browser. What I want to do is just to show you what is actually behind the academic initiative. So if you've managed to log on successfully, you should have an interface similar to this here. Excuse me, where you've logged with the academic initiative, and then you can go to the different technology areas. So at the top there, you see a tab that says cloud, data science, security, quantum. You can look to all of them to see all of them. And you see that they're all indicated down here. For today's session, just to, number one, give you access and enable you to upgrade your cloud account. We will look at cloud, and then we'll also look at some of the data science, because I want to show you how to access iLog, Cplex Studio. And then after that, I will show you some interesting project that you can try out on how you can develop a robotics project and integrate that into your IBM cloud environment. Okay. So for the first step, we can go to the IBM cloud. So you click on the link that says IBM cloud. Here it gives you information about IBM cloud. When we look at the material is organized in the section that I showed you before. So you have resources, software, courseware, badges, and then we introduced this one of careers. If some of you would like to develop a career in cloud, so you can see what are the careers available there. So to get started, you can look at what IBM Cloud is. You can read about that. You can look at the foundational information about cloud technology. There's also other things about Red Hat. We'll come back to this TJ bot, which I want to tell you more about, and this is a project I'm going to use. But to get to cloud, let's go to the section that says software. So under the software section, you can see one that says IBM Cloud Lite. So you can get a free Lite account, which is available to anybody. You don't have to be even students to use this Lite account. But later on, we'll see how to get a code that allows you to upgrade that free account to give you even more functionality. So to access your Lite account, you click on the option that says create your IBM Cloud Lite account. So if you click on that link, it'll open, it'll take you to IBM Cloud. And here at IBM Cloud, you will be asked to register or to open your IBM Cloud account. Remember when you created an IBM ID in the previous steps, you can now use that same email address, that means your university email address, to log into IBM Cloud, and you have your free Cloud Lite account. So all of you, if you register an academic initiative successfully, you have a free IBM Cloud account, and you can log in. You can log into that. So click on the option that says create your IBM Cloud Lite account, and then open that. When it opens a new page, you just log in with your university email address as the IBM ID and the password that you create. So here you enter your username at your university domain. Okay, and then you click on next, you put in the password that you created. Okay, and that will give you access to your IBM Cloud account. So let me log on to mine so that you can also see. Let me stop sharing for a minute. Okay, so if you log in to your account,
Excuse me, sir.
yes.
I am having some trouble with my IBM Cloud. I had previously used it because I was getting a badge. Now it's
Yes.
telling me to upgrade in order to access it.
You had used your IBM Cloud account previously.
Yes, I got a Mastery Award badge.
Okay, so you had used the code before, but you
Yes.
did not upgrade it, so it expired.
Yes.
Okay, you might have to downgrade that account
Okay.
back, and then. So what you need to do is, if always you are using if you get a free service, then you need to make sure you keep on utilizing. Let me get a code, and that will help you to do that. Okay, so if you have a situation like what was just mentioned, meaning that you had in the past used an IBM code to upgrade your account, but you never continued it, that means that has expired. What is now expected that you'll be entering your credit card. So in that case, you need to then downgrade that account. So I've just put a link in the chat. See if you can use that to downgrade your account back to Lite, and then you can upgrade it again using your code, right?
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Do you see the link in the chat?
Yes, I've seen it.
So click on that, your account details, and then you'll be able to downgrade it, and you have access to your account, and then you can then be able to come to academic initiative, get the code again, and then now, and remember I'll show you about the code in a moment.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. So have you managed to log in successfully to your cloud account? Others? The others on the call, have you been successful in getting to your cloud account? Oh, sorry, I need to return my share. Sure. Okay, so as you log onto your cloud account, so what you get into your cloud account, when you log into your cloud account, you have what is known as a free Cloud Lite account, IBM Cloud Lite account. This is a free cloud account that anyone can register for. It gives you access to about 40 services on IBM Cloud. And you will see that when you look at the catalog of your IBM Cloud account. So when you log into IBM Cloud, your interface should look something like this. We've got a catalog on the left here. It shows you the different services you can connect to. At the top there, you've got the menu for the different things you can do on your cloud account. Okay, and then the services are indicated inside here. Okay, and you can scroll through and look at all of those. Now, this is a free account that you get. The services that are available to you, you will see they're indicated here as free, or if it shows light, means that it's available under the light account. Okay. So you'll have 40 services when you log on with the light account. It's already quite generous, but then because as students you do projects, you do some assignments you can do some assignments on your cloud, we give you a code that you can then further upgrade your account to give you more services, as long as you're a student or a faculty member. So on the academic initiative page, here we saw how to open the light account. Next to it, you can get what is called a feature code. Now the feature code will upgrade your account. It's like putting in some credit card, some code that will give you extra services on your IBM Cloud account. So if I click on request feature code here, I will get a link that I can then apply into my cloud account to give you more services. So click on this request feature code and you'll get the code I'm talking about. So you can all try it, those who are on the even if you don't have if you're not into IBM Cloud, you can request it now and it will come to your email and you can apply it later. Get that feature code. I'll show you how to fit that code into your account. Now the feature code extends and gives you extra services in your cloud account for 6 months if you're a student. If you're a faculty member, it gives you 12 months. Renewable, meaning that before that period of time comes to a close, you can request another code to extend that account further. The lady who asked the question a short while ago, she did not extend that account, so it expired. And when it expired, the system automatically took it that she is now ready to start entering her credit card details. But if you wish to continue it, then you should have requested another code to continue it, as long as you're a student. If you fail to extend it, then you would downgrade that account back to a light account, having the minimum features. Okay, so I encourage you, keep looking at this. When you get the code, apply it. It will give you information of how long that account is going to be valid for. When it's coming close to the end, so maybe when the last month is starting off, renew it again, get another feature code and extend it, continue extending. Now the feature codes are not transferable, so I cannot get a feature code and give it to somebody else or other people. Ask other colleagues to get their own feature codes that they need for the IBM. So let's go ahead and request a feature code. So I'll ask all of you to click on the link that says request feature code. It's going to open up a window here, which has got the code. It will be a string of text and numbers. And then you copy that and I'll show you where to paste it. request your feature code, click on that link. When you get the feature code, go to your IBM Cloud account, go to manage account, manage account. Account settings. Now, instead of putting in your credit card details, scroll down and see where it says subscription and feature code. And then you click on that, then you paste that code over here and apply it. And that will extend your account for 6 months if you're a student and 12 months if you're a faculty member. So you get the code from here, request feature code. When you have copied and pasted that code, go to your cloud, IBM Cloud account, go to manage account, then apply the code and paste that code inside here. And that will give you access to your IBM Cloud services. Okay. How many have successfully secured the code? This time, put it in the chat. Put in the chat that you got it. Yes, let's say yes, got it. So I know you're able to get the feature code. Put it in the chat, say yes or got it, so that I know that we've been successful in securing the feature code and you've been able to extend your IBM Cloud. Got it, but can't apply. Okay, just try it again later, Evelyn, as long as you now know how to do it. Continue the rest. Did anybody else, are you successful in getting the cloud code? Okay. By the way, there is, if you want to check it out later, there's a guide on how to apply the feature code. Just click on how to apply feature code and you'll see there's a PDF here that will guide you how to insert that code. So only 2 people have got the feature code. The others, have you been successful? Tabby, I don't understand what you mean it states. Okay, I'd still like to see about half of us have at least secured the feature code. You can request for it now, don't worry, it will come into your email. Okay, you can't apply it, try it again later, don't worry, apply it later. For now, I just want you to request the feature code, so at least you have it, and then you can later go back and apply that. Others, were you able to get it? Chris, Stephen, were you able to get the feature code? I'd like to see a good number of us. Evelyn, Alan. Okay, excellent. Keep on going. Okay, keep on going, keep on getting the feature code. You can apply it later, no worries. And you can find the guide there. Okay, so let's keep on going and then we'll see now what you can do with your IBM Cloud account. So if you've now secured your IBM Cloud account, you've gotten your feature code. When you're in IBM Cloud, there are several services that you can see here. So there's some which are featured services like Watson Studio, like I mentioned before. If you're looking to write some code for machine learning or you're doing any analytics work, this is a great place to write your code. And you've got various other services you can begin to use. So text to speech, speech to text, you can develop application that will pick up some data and then you can start manipulating it. Okay, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of services available here. If you want to look at the full list of services, click on services and then it will list out for you all those services. Like I said before, the ones that are free are available to you, and also the ones that are indicated as light. when you have the code, the feature code enabled, it will indicate for you that this service is enabled. I am enabled. That means you have access to that. The one that you don't have access to will appear like this here, that you don't have access to. So these are sort of premium services that you'd have to pay for. But if you've got a very specific need, you're doing a project requires that, again, reach out to me, and then we'll see how we can get you some cloud credits, or you don't have to use your credit card to make access to these services. So everywhere you see free, I am enabled, it means you have got access to those particular services for your solution. And if you look at it, you have got quite a good number of those that are available here. Some of these services are IBM. Some of this could be coming from third parties. So you might see some of them are in beta or in test stage, but you've got a huge number of services that are available here. So if you're looking to develop code, if you're writing applications, this is a great place to use this environment to write your solution. And remember, you're using a platform. So this is the same IBM cloud that you can think of. The top 10 banks in the world are using the same IBM cloud. So if you think about an innovation journey, just think how much faster that has been accelerated, because you're using the same environment that is being used by top companies globally. And with your student access, you've actually got extra services. Okay. Under the courseware, so for those who are looking to learn about cloud, and again, to respond to the question that was asked by a colleague earlier, if you aren't looking to learn about cloud, you've got some very interesting course materials available here. I will show you one. So if you want to get started with cloud for the enterprise, there's a course here, very interesting course that you can click on that. And it launches an e-learning. It launches an e-learning course that you can now begin looking at for your learning on cloud. So it will open up an environment here, and you can start looking, start learning about cloud if that's the journey you want to start cloud. So it opens up this page, getting started with cloud. This is a self-paced self-learning. So at your own time, you can go in there and begin learning about cloud. Okay, so you can see here it's 5 hours. It's self-paced. You've got all these different topics to do. You've got something that some research will also be carrying out later. And you get started. If you go to the badge section, so let me just minimize this. If you go to the badge section, open a different link. If you go to the badges section here, you also find other learning materials available there, and you can get the badge for that as well. Okay, so that's a quick overview about the cloud section. As you can see, there's a lot of material there. I'll advise you spend time going looking at it. Data science. Under the data science, I'll just show you a few things. Here I've got the data asset exchange. If you're looking for data sets, you can get them here. Under the software, there's a lot of software that I talked about before. The one I'll point you is this one called the iLog Simplex Optimization Studio. If you want to download it, click on that to download the Simplex Optimization Studio application, and you can begin doing your applications on linear programming and developing around that. Under the courseware, there's a training the DS so if you're looking to learn about data science, and also there's a foundational course started into. So a lot of resources that you can actually leverage as you do your learning. And all the other sections, same they see all different. So if you want to look at cloud, data science, security, I'll let you explore all of those different things. Any questions up to that point? I want to switch gears again. Steve, anyone with a question around what we've covered, looked at so far? Okay, So if there's no question, I wanted to now do a bit of a practical activity. And I wanted to show you one thing that'd be interesting to do is to develop, so there's this TJ bot, is really an open source robotics exercise that you can carry out. So TJ bot is just a name given to do-it-yourself type of robotics application that you can develop using low-cost items, and then you can build in some AI into it by connecting it to connecting that robot to the IBM cloud. Okay, so there's a video here. So I just went to IBM Cloud. Under the resources section, I clicked on TJ bot. So here is an interesting way, if you're looking to get started in robotics and have some fun, you can get started with that here on this TJ bot. So, here you can watch a short video that will show you the TJ bot. But we'll also give you another link where if you'd like to do it yourself, some you could buy kits of the TJ bot. Some of these things are actually very basic. So, for example, you could use card to you can get a schema and then cut out that more similar to this one here. So you can get cardboard box. All of us can get cardboard box. If you like the scheme on how to actually know how to fold, how to cut, etc., those are again available. And if you like, you then need to get some few equipment, which I'm sure we can all access. So to assemble the TJ board, what you'll require, so your cardboard. So this you can cut, and you can get the models from this page here. A Raspberry Pi system, 16 GB card, USB microphone, speaker, and you can also add a few other things depending on later on what you'd like to do with it. So the reason why I use this is because a lot of these things can be available relatively at an affordable price, and you can also improvise in some cases for some of these items. And being an IEEE group here, you can organize yourselves and get some of these items for as part of your student branch, and actually begin developing some interesting TJ board functionality with that. So there are some instructions that you can access from here on how to go ahead and build that. You can get some sample code that you can use to get your bot running, and also how you could further customize it to do different things. So there's some recipes on GitHub that you can download, some code patterns that are available there that you can actually make use of. Okay, and if you are integrating your TJ bot to your cloud account, you can actually enable some Watson services. Remember, Watson is the AI engine of IBM that you can then begin building more functionality with your TJ bot using Watson. So there have been some interesting projects that I can tell you, different groups have been doing using their bot. One interesting one that comes to mind is a group that made the TJ bot, and what they did is that they used it to help tell stories to young children. So in this particular case, there was a team that was wanted to find a way to, children who are in a terminal care center, at least to make them happy or make them smile. So they created a TJ bot that would look at the facial expression of that particular child, and then if it noticed that this child is actually not happy, then it would look for a story, a nice story that's available that is out of IP restriction on the internet, and then you also have some repositories for those. and it then reads out the story to this child. So that's an interesting way to apply some of these features. And with that, you've got your TJ bot accessing using the Watson services, using face recognition, and also using speech to text to speech to actually read that out to that particular child. So what would you guys like to challenge yourselves? Can we have your student branches do a competition and develop a TJ bot and build more functionality on that using the resource that you've now been made available to you? A question for all of you. Steve, anyone who wants to take up the challenge?
Yeah, I can speak for Kenyatta University students. I can say that there's already that base of students, that community base, students interested in tech and would gladly take up such challenges. The inquiry would be the access to the board themselves, the microcontroller, the Raspberry Pi, or the full kit.
Yeah, so those you'd have to buy yourselves or find a way to access those. I believe there's a company in Thika that actually sells some of these controllers. It's not highly expensive, but as a group, maybe you could see how you could pool your resources together and buy some of these items. So usually they sell a starter kit that contains most of these items. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it retails for about 3,000, 4,000 shillings. That contains most of these items here. And then remember, some of them you don't even need to buy. You can improvise. I mean, like I said, in here, if you go to instructions, you'll see you can get the schema to cut this out of cardboard. You don't have to, excuse me, you don't have to make, you don't have to buy some of these fancy materials. And this can be reused even for other purposes as well.
Yeah, I think that would be great. Most of the engineering students, being that a lot of us here are engineering students, we are majorly well acquainted with the Arduino. So this would be a good, it would be a good alternative to that.
So I mean, you can, instead of the Raspberry Pi, you can use, excuse me, you can switch to an Arduino.
Yeah, thank you for that insight.
So that was, I believe that was KU. What about the other student team? Anyone from Moi, from Strathmore, from University of Nairobi?
Hi.
JKU Art? Hi.
Hello, can you hear me? Sorry.
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm in transit. Yes, we accept the challenge from UN.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
Yeah,
good to see we have a competition building up.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
we're very excited, and especially now that when we finish our exams, these are some of the projects we are willing to take up on as we go to the long holiday. This is in July. So
Okay.
yeah, we're pretty excited. Thank you.
Most welcome. So we've got KU, we've got University of Nairobi.
Hello.
Any of the other teams? Yes.
It's taking over here. Okay, from the Technical University of Kenya, we are delighted to be part of the challenge, being that some of the resources are available in the institution, and we'll just avail them to the students. And for the ones that are not available, maybe the students could chip in and get some of them. So from TUK, we accept the challenge.
Excellent, excellent. Other teams? So, I mean, this is a great way where you're just using some sort of low-cost resources you can build out something, basically whatever your mind can think of, and you then utilize some of the functionality that we that we've seen available on IBM Cloud. If you add more sensors onto your TJ bot, you can then do many more other things, okay? And then have your bot collecting data and pushing that out on the cloud, and then using that data to come up with different models on your IBM Cloud account, using your Watson data desk, your Watson Studio, etc. So I mean, I'm just trying to sort of make you think about what is possible just by using a very simple tool here. You can also develop solutions that are running from your mobile phones. You know, your mobile phone already has quite a number of sensors. If you develop that, have that connected to your IBM Cloud account, already you can be picking up data and doing lots of interesting things. So I mean, basically, I know you guys can do a lot of things if you put your mind to it. The final thing I want to just let you aware about, there's a challenge called Call for Code that is open. This is a global challenge that is available to everyone who is interested in developing a solution to tackle some of the biggest problem that humanity is facing now. This year, the themes around, excuse me, around issues addressing the climate. So you've got themes around responsible production. You've got things around zero hunger. You've got you've got a theme around. There's one more I've forgotten. So the challenge is open. You're welcome to register. So you go to challenge details. You can register for that, and then yeah. So here it is. So clean water and sanitation, zero hunger, responsible production, and green consumption. So these are sort of the three broad areas. So you can dig into each one of those. If you have a solution that you'd like to develop to address some of these challenges, you're welcome to do so. It's an open challenge. It's closing on the 31st of July. You're welcome to go in as an individual, although the recommendation is to go in as a team, or a maximum up to 5 individuals. And there is also a student category. So you could also register, submit your challenge for the global challenge or for the university challenge, okay? The global challenge has got a very attractive prize award, so $200,000, which is, I'm sure, very attractive whichever way you look at it. And for the student category, there's $10,000. So if you apply as a student team, you qualify for both the global challenge and the university challenge, right? But you have to be students registered currently at a university. By the way, last year's winners were actually a team of students. And we had students, a student team that had contestants that was comprised of members from, I think one was from Nepal, India, someone in another one in South America. And basically the idea I want to tell you is that students can actually do it, right? So challenge yourselves. You guys are, I'm sure, more than capable of doing this if you put your minds to it. You've got the IBM Cloud resources that I've just shown you. You've got your minds, and now all you do is need to stretch your imagination and build solutions that address these real world issues. So challenge, over to you. So I think with that, I'll come to the end of my presentation and welcome any questions or any specific issue that you may have come across as you are registering for academic initiative, for the cloud, and also for some of this item of training. Any questions? Hello, Steve.
Hello.
Yes.
Okay. From our side, I can say all is well. We are delighted to host you, to shed more light on the idea that most of the students already are not known. And I think by now, most of the students now will have access to these resources, and they will be able to use them appropriately in maybe for the tech challenge and also to develop their career. So just a question from my side. For the access of the resources, maybe one would like to dwell much on IoT. And so does the cloud platform offer the services for the IoT?
Yes, the answer is yes.
Okay, because there are queries from some of our students here who are enrolled into IoT course. So they were asking if they could have an access to that. Okay, I'll inform them, and also, yes, I'll inform them of that.
I will just, let me just load up my screen here if you're able to see. I'm just opening up my IBM. So this is the IBM cloud interface, right? I hope you can see it.
Yes, I can see it.
So you can, if you look at the catalog on the left, you can see different services. So you've got compute, networking, AI, analytics. You've got services for IoT. So you can click on those IoT services, and then you can begin utilizing them. And you can see quite a number of them are enabled even on your account.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other question?
Yes. Regarding under IBM Skills Academy, regarding the professional certifications, I know most of them are offered with the institutions with the product of CIT. Is there a way to actually do them individually, other than the times when IBM actually offers scholarships to pursue the courses? Like last time, it was the cloud application developer.
Yeah, so what we're doing, so the way in which Skills Academy is delivered is in partnership with the faculty, with the university teachers. Obviously, because of the challenges caused by the pandemic, and for several months, many of us have been working remotely. So what we have done now is made available those courses online. So there's an e-learning version for the courses on the Skills Academy. However, we still ask you to work with your university administrator for IBM programs. So for example, if you're in a particular university, find out from the department who is the one coordinating the IBM program in your institution. So working with them, they will deliver to you tokens that you can then use to access the Skills Academy e-learning versions. Okay. So we still, because the Skills Academy is made available to those who are part of the university, and also you need to go through because it's a partnership with the university, right? So we need to have an agreement with the university to do that. Well, it's not going to be charged, but you still need to work with your university. So check with your point of contact at the university for IBM, and then tell them you're interested in this course, and then we will work with them to make available the tokens to access those learnings.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Yeah, thank you. So this is Chris. I was asking for us who say Android developer and other application developers to access the cloud platform provided by IBM. Do you have developed APIs to help in that? Say, for example, I have used Firebase from Google, and they have this API that enables you to use very little code to access their cloud platform. Do you have that for IBM? Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. So IBM Cloud is built on open standards. So by the way, you can write your code in almost any language I can think of. So if you're writing code in different environments, you can do that. You can port your code from different repositories into IBM Cloud. You can even write your code in .NET on IBM Cloud. So maybe if you want, we could plan another session where we're looking at your application development. But if I'd advise you take some time to just go through the catalog, pick and choose the service that you need for your application, and then you can see that there's lots of code that you can actually begin writing on. Okay. Even for those who are doing modeling, you can write your code in R and so on, straight on IBM Cloud. So if you're an Android developer, no problem at all. Even better, because we are doing it on open standards, so you can write your code in there. Any other question? So look at the developer tools that are available on cloud, and then you can begin developing your applications here. Any other question?
Yeah, John, I have a question.
Yes.
Or more of a concern. You see, with the community that's already existing of students interested in learning these technologies, it's actually prudent that we have establishments in forms of either clubs or just a society, formally, be named IBM. We had such before with IBM DNA. I don't know what's the directive right now, because things changed a bit.
Yeah, I mean, DNA is still they're still going on. Not as much focus as there was, because remember, DNA is meant to be sort of like a self-service platform. But I mean, I encourage you to, whatever organization you'd like to put yourself in, how you like to organize students, whether it's in clubs or I like the IEEE Student Club that you already have. You're most welcome to do that. And then if you'd like to develop groups that are focusing on particular technologies, analytics, maybe a group is look at security, that's also good as well. What I find is that you just need to have a dedicated individual that will help you maintain focus, and you continue having a target that you're working towards.
Hello, John.
Go ahead.
To that question that Onyango asked, I remember at the home page I saw something on IBM ambassadors. Was that for students, or the ambassador program is not intended for students? Maybe you can tell us more about that.
So the IBM ambassador program, that's an internal IBM program where we have IBM experts who volunteer to, let's say, be a mentor or to give a talk to students about an area of their expertise. So, as an organization, we've got different groups, different teams that are working, and they're specializing in different areas. So you've got people who are experts in cloud, people who are experts in cybersecurity, and so on. So if for example, last week we had a talk by a cybersecurity expert, and he was giving a guest lecture. So those individuals, internally, we call them academic ambassadors, because they are people who are in the business units, but they make themselves available to come and advise and talk to students just the same way like I'm doing here, but based on their area of expertise. We don't have an ambassador program like there's an IBM ambassador in KU, for example, or in Strathmore. But I mean, as students who would like to organize yourselves, by all means, I mean, we would not stop you if you have developed interest and passion on a particular area, and you'd like to be, let's say, the ambassador for a particular technology or IBM. So speak to the point of contact in your university. So for example, like I said, in most universities, we have got an individual who is the point person or the person that we engage with. If you'd like to work with that particular individual and be assisting him or her and become the IBM ambassador in your institution, by all means, go ahead and do so. We'll be happy to support you further by giving you more knowledge on different topics so you can be able to go out there and talk to your colleagues, and which is also a good experience to have, because as being an ambassador, you'll be organizing, you'll have to learn more so you can show your colleagues, and in that process you're also developing a lot of other skills, communication, mobilization, interaction, and so on and so forth, which will always be good for you in whatever you do afterwards. Does that answer your question? So we don't have a formal program, but you're most welcome to, if you'd like to do some more work, you're welcome to do so.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for that clarification. So I was waiting to see if there is any other question from the.
Okay, so just before you make your comments, let me say thank you to all of you that have made time to be here and have, let's say, been able to persevere and stand my bouts of cough every now and then. I hope the session was useful and you've been able to see resources that would be relevant as you go through your academic practice, and also as an innovator engineer that you are, that will help you in that. Feel free to reach out to me. I'll be happy to guide you further and be of any other assistance. Wish you all the best and keep well. Thank you, Steve and Chris, for this session.
Okay, thank you very much, John, and to others who got time to join us for this webinar. I can tell you this just for a start, and we'll be delighted to have IBM joining us for our upcoming IEEE Kenya University's Engineering and Technology Service. They'll be taking us through a workshop, and also they'll be taking us through a panel discussion. So I believe it was a good moment having IBM. We've got to learn more, and I'm looking forward to you all joining us in the upcoming summit scheduled for 15th and 16th of July this year. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I also do appreciate everyone who joined. Thank you very much, guys, for sparing your time. So the meeting was recorded. I will be sharing the recording of the meeting. The meeting was organized in partnership with all IEEE Student Branches. So thank you very much. That was a very nice session. So the meeting is closed. You can now leave at your own pressure.